A Christian NHS boss and magistrate sacked for speaking out against gay adoption is suing his former employers for religious discrimination. While sitting as a magistrate in a hearing, Richard Page said it was better for children to have a mother and father and opposed an adoption application by a same-sex couple.
Well, Mr Page was suspended by Kent and Medway NHS and Social Care Partnership Trust last year, but he believes he's been discriminated against as a Christian. His former employers say Mr Page's stance undermined the confidence of staff, particularly lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender employees. Amanda Acass has our report.
The case revolves around what it means to be discriminated against in British society. Richard Page says he was sacked from his NHS role after comments he made as a magistrate about same-sex adoption because of his Christian beliefs. Those views haven't changed.
That's natural. It's a man and a woman having a child. And it's also, is what is in the Bible, is that a man and a woman look after a child, look after a family, and that's the natural way.
But for many same-sex couples who do bring up children, who step forward to adopt children that don't have parents otherwise, do you not see that they might see this as homophobic?
Well, I wasn't being homophobic. I was doing my legal requirement was what was best for the child.
He made the original comments after hearing the case of a same-sex couple who wanted to adopt in 2014. But it was a series of media interviews he gave last year to defend his position to the BBC's Caroline Wyatt and on other outlets, which led to him being sacked as a magistrate and then dismissed from his NHS role. Today, the NHS lawyers questioned his commitment to upholding the law which allows same-sex marriage and also to the Trust Equality and Equal Opportunities commitments. Mr Page continued to insist his views have never affected his work, but gay rights activists are outraged by the case.
The law says that gay people must be treated equally without discrimination. Yet as a magistrate, Richard Page opposed same-sex couples adopting children, and that quite clearly was an act of discrimination which is contrary to the law, and we simply cannot have people involved in the law who do not uphold it.
Christian campaigners argue he's fighting for an important principle.
I think it's absolutely vital that people like Richard Page should not be excluded from the public space. Here we have a man who's given a lifetime to public service, who's given a lifetime to serving the community, who believes in the Bible, like millions of people across the world.
The tribunal's expected to last for 4 days.
Well, Amanda Acass is still at the Employment Tribunal in Croydon. Amanda, what did the NHS Trust have to say this afternoon?
Well, their lawyers have spent the day scrutinising Richard Page's key claim that it's better for a child to have a mother and a father, asking if a same-sex parent who worked at the Trust heard that, would they be offended? He said, "I don't see why they should be." He was then asked about the reasons why he believed it was better to have heterosexual parents. He said, well, it's because men and women think differently. Asked to provide examples of that, he couldn't. They then put it to him that he himself is guilty of discrimination. Finally, he was asked whether he agreed with those words in the Bible which described homosexual acts as an abomination. He replied, "I'm a Christian. I believe what God says."